Hey there, Mr. Pribble's class. Your teacher asked me to come in and talk to you guys a little bit about the joys of video production, but I'm sure you guys are wondering who I am, so let's get to that first. My name's Adam Bell, and I work for the local ABC affiliate here in town, Channel 3 News.
I've been with Channel 3 for about 5.5 years now, and I've had a pretty fun time working on the nightside news shows that make up 3.5 hours of Channel 3's programming every day. Right now I'm the nightside video editor, which is actually part of why I couldn't be with you today. For Mr. Pribble's earlier classes, I was here in person, but my work shift starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so you guys get this instead. Sorry. At least I can spare you most of the I probably used during this morning's 2 sessions, so there's that.
As I was saying, I've been working with Channel 3 for a little over 5.5 years now, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. But in fact, all the way back through school, like even back in elementary school, I was working on TV crews.
Almost never in front of the camera, but there's always been something really exciting to me about being part of a live TV broadcast. And my real passion for broadcasting was always in putting things together, pre-producing videos for later play, making, composing. There's always been something very satisfying to me about creatively putting together a bunch of disparate parts and pieces, sometimes even pulled from different places, and turning them all into one big cohesive story.
You see, that's where my passion for video editing really lies. The elegance of the visual narrative, or to put it in less grandiose terms, using images to tell a story. That was super serious and probably made me sound like some kind of video snob, so to break up the tension, let's do something else. Let's watch an actual segment that I produced for my high school's TV news show. Yeah, enjoy.
Welcome to Gamers. Begin program.
Hi, I'm Eric Anderson, and welcome to Gamers. This month we see some very interesting releases. If you like skateboarding, check out Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 for the Xbox. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is already out for the PlayStation 2, but the Xbox version will sport updated graphics, more skaters and skate parks, 4-player action, and user-created soundtracks by the use of the Xbox's hard drive. The PlayStation 2 version, however, does do better than the Xbox with internet play. Also for the Xbox is NBA 2K2, also already out for the PlayStation 2. NBA 2K2 for the Xbox will be one of the best basketball games out for the box. The graphics are the best seen so far in a basketball game. And for the Buffy fans out there, the Xbox will also get Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you watch the show, this game will definitely appeal to you. The software developers, 3D models, and voice acting straight from the actors will keep the game very true to the show. For the GameCube gives 007 James Bond Agent Under Fire. It looks gorgeous. Your weapon awesome. The graphics are so far splendid and proves to be the best Bond game yet. Also for the Cube is Gauntlet Dark Legacy. If you like Gauntlet Legends for Nintendo 64, then you'll love this latest installment. Lighting effects are gorgeous with new classes and enemies. Anybody can play this for hours and still have a great time. On down the list comes for the PlayStation 2 and releases for the month. Numero Uno, Blood Omen 2, Legacy of Kain. If you play as Kain, the legendary vampire bad guy from the original Blood Omen games. The game involves lots of combat, puzzle solving, exploration, and most importantly, blood sucking. With beautiful landscape scenery and characters and monstrous critters to kill, Blood Omen 2 looks top notch. Medal of Honor Frontline is a World War II shooter. Check out this if you're one of those historic freaks. Realistic battles, gun-blazing action, and all the shoes of a young Jimmy Patterson. Give it a try. And finally, rounding up the games this month, we have Rainbow Six Rogue Sphere for the Game Boy Advance. You had a squad of anti-terrorists through international class while disposing of evildoers and saving the innocent. Don't count on the graphics being up to snuff with the other versions. However, the Game Boy is ported as a top-down shooter with 15 missions. However, it's enough to keep you going for a good while. Hey, that's it for this edition of Gamer. Special thanks to IGN.com, GamePro Magazine, Electronic Gaming Magazine, and PlayStation Magazine for all our coverage and multimedia. See you guys next month.
Yikes. So I love working as a professional video editor, but I didn't start out as that. In fact, I kind of clawed my way up from the very bottom rung of the broadcasting ladder. I started out as a production assistant. In fact, you know what? Let me show you the place I worked when I first started at Channel 3 News. Ah, yes. Be it ever so humble. This is the very first place I worked as a production assistant at Channel 3. You may say, but Adam, this is a supply closet. And you're not wrong. See, when I first got hired, Channel 3 was working on the big studio. And so I started out working in this little thing. Yeah. We had a green screen, we had 2 cameras, a weather desk, and a news desk. And that was pretty much it. We shot the 4 o'clock over here on the green screen to make it look a little different from the 5 and 6 o'clock shows, which were marginally different. But we called this Studio B, kind of jokingly. But yeah, it is just a supply closet, almost literally. You might say, Studio B, well, what does that mean? Well, there's a very good reason for that. Yep, this is the spiffy new Channel 3 set. And not quite as spiffy as it was 5 years ago, maybe, but still pretty slick. So as a production assistant, I helped move around cameras during the station's live news shows, which, I don't know, seems like a pretty important job, especially to give to someone who's entry level. But, I mean, that's how being a production assistant works. See, because of the nature of a live TV broadcast, one person can really screw up things if they felt like it. But that's why communication is so important when you work in the field. So I was either working in here during a show, or running this thing. You know how every politician you've ever seen manages to sound so well rehearsed on TV? It's because of this, guys, the teleprompter. Also a pretty important job, all things told. I mean, sure, the anchors always have paper scripts just in case the prompter operator decides to go rogue, but a prompter glitch can cause even seasoned anchoring pros to lose their spot or look awkward on the air, even if it's only for a second.
Well, that's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay classy, San Diego. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter?
There are plenty of other positions in the control room. Audio operator, director, and control air operator. But when I decided Channel 3 was an okay place to work and I finally wanted to start moving up, this is the chair I really wanted to sit in. The producer chair.
Producers are the people who write the news. They're like editors, but with scripts instead of video. Their job is to take all the information they have on a story and pare it down until they've got a snappy script that shares as much of that information as they feel is important. After showing an interest in the job, I trained with a producer friend I'd made at the station, and when an associate producer job came up, I hopped on it. So I got the job I was hoping for. Except, I found out it just wasn't for me. After a few months, it was apparent I didn't like the idea of spending 6 hours of my day pouring my heart and soul into a show, only to dump all of it when we started back to work the next day. It felt exhausting, and I never felt like I really had a handle on it. I wasn't a news getter. I was shy. I didn't like talking on the phone, which is a big part of getting local news together. But as it turned out, part of being an associate producer was learning to use the video editing system. And the days I edited instead of producing were the days I looked forward to the most. So when our longtime nightside video editor decided to fly the coop and pursue her dream of being a sports anchor at a different station, I'm pretty sure I was the first person to apply for her spot. As a news editor, I pull in videos from our national partners, our in-house photographers, or photogs for short, and our viewers. But the thing is, you'd be surprised just how much video we don't use. Your standard news package is only 2 minutes long at the very most, but a photog can shoot anywhere from 10 minutes to a full hour's worth of video to fill that 2 minutes of airtime. So, a package is a story with video, sound bites, and a pre-recorded reporter track talking over the whole thing. In the news business, we generally produce videos in 3 basic formats: packages, which we discussed just now, VOs, and SOTs, or sound bites. A VO is just an edited piece of video that an anchor or reporter talks over live. And a SOT, or soundbite, is just a quote from someone a photog or reporter talked to outside the station. Whereas VOs are used to set up the facts of a story, the SOTs are pretty much just for flavor, and they usually have another VO that runs directly after them called trailing VO. The extra VO on the back end allows for a quick wrap-up on a story. VOs are where editors get to be really creative and embrace visual storytelling. Because while you are working with a script that was written by a reporter or producer, you're still responsible for making sure the video more or less matches up with what the script says, and trying your best to keep the VO interesting. Let me give you an example. During that freak ice storm a few weeks ago, I put together this quick VO. I don't have an anchor chatting over it here, but if I've done my job right, you should get the general idea of the story without any words at all. Let's take a look. So what all can we take away from this, without the script? From the first few images, you can infer that there will be ice on the roads. Then, when we shift to the guy in the bulldozer, we tell a simple story there as well, and it ties into the story from before. Man moves sand into truck spreads sand on the road, man moves more sand, truck leaves the sand pit. The county was scrambling dump trucks full of sand to spread on the icy roads to make them less slippery. It's not an amazing story, and there aren't any plot twists or anything, but it is a story, and I chose how to tell it. Let's see the VO again, but with the script being voiced. Unfortunately, I don't have an anchor handy, but I do have a voice. A big concern tomorrow will be the ice on the roads. You're asked to stay home if you can. The Florida Department of Transportation is preparing the best they can. 7 sand trucks are loaded and ready to go. They'll be spread out on state roads between all Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa counties.
So what do you think? Did I do a good job of supporting the story that the script told? When you get right down to it, that's all editing really is: storytelling. The way you choose to tell any story is probably different from the person sitting next to you. Remember when I told you earlier our photogs shoot a lot of video? Like, a lot? The guy who shot this had at least 10 minutes worth of video to choose from, and all I needed was 40 seconds. I had lots of different shots I could have chosen to be in this VO, and I could have combined these shots in any number of ways, but I decided these shots and this particular configuration of them told my story best. The way you choose to tell your story is up to you, and I think it's the best thing about any kind of video production. And that's why I love doing what I do.
And now it's confession time. I wasn't always a great editor. Some people might say I'm still not, but hey, I got this job, right? So I'll end with something a little more fun than a dump truck full of sand. Yeah, I know. How fun could it possibly be? Here's a film I made in college. It stars me and a friend. It's not very good. I made 4 films in college altogether when I went to school at UWF here, and even though I say this one isn't very good, it's probably the best out of all of them. So, with that in mind, a big thank you to Mr. Pribble for letting me come in and talk to you guys, and thanks to all of you for your attention, but this is where I sign off. Please enjoy my magnum opus, Virtual Voodoo.
Adam, it's your best buddy Duggar. I'm here to visit. Duggar, sorry I couldn't be here to greet you in person, man.
I had to go out and run a couple of errands. I should be back soon. Help yourself to anything in the apartment. Just, don't play my Nintendo DS. It's been acting weird lately.
No. Mommy told me not to play it. What could one little game hurt? Boots? Nah, I think I like these sneakers better.
Well, as long as he's just messing around, I guess I can keep running my errands. That was almost done anyway.
Bonus costumes. Yay!
What the? I freaking hate you, Duggar. Screw the errands, I'm headed back.
Yeah, enough customizing. Time for a race.
Car trying to get past?
No, you don't. You're not gonna pass me.
Duggar, no!
This just in, chaos on Highway 90 near Pace. A 23-car pileup. Authorities say they don't know what happened exactly, but the culprit of the whole thing seems to be an errant banana peel.
It's true. It was just sitting there on the road, and then some guy hit it, and all hell broke loose.
Gotta destroy the evidence.
A simple act of littering or a planned attack? Pensacola News will keep you informed as this story develops. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program.
Nice to see you, buddy. No hard feelings.
Of course not. Although, I'm thinking another game might be more up your alley.
What? Huh? Wait a minute. I know that music. I'm getting out of here.
Finish him.
Let me out of this thing!
Smoke wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.